Hello, my name is Dr. Kyle Jones, and for those of you who don't know me, I am your Church Council Chair. Your Church Council is established by the United Methodist Book of Discipline, and one of its charges is the administration of the Church and its temporal life. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, this body has been hard at work to keep you, our church family, safe and healthy, while at the same time carrying on the ministries of this church. As you are aware, our bishop asked us to wait to restart services until May 31st, Pentecost Sunday. In preparation for that day, committees met and made recommendations on policies and procedures for those attending services in person so that we continue that work of keeping our church family safe. Those recommendations were presented and unanimously approved by your church council at a recent meeting. I'd like to take a moment to walk you through those recommendations. First and foremost, I'd like to emphasize that there is no expectation that you attend services in person. If you are in one of the age groups most negatively impacted by this virus, or if you are immunocompromised in any way, or if you simply don't feel safe yet to attend an in-person church service, the church supports you wholeheartedly in that decision. Should you choose to attend the service, though, there are two questions that you should ask yourself before jumping into your car. Question 1. Do I have any of the symptoms of the coronavirus? These are things like fever, cough, sore throat, body aches, chills, and diarrhea. 2. Have I been in large gatherings in the last 14 days that may have compromised my health? These could be purely recreational in nature, such as a movie theater or a barbecue, but they could also be work or health related, such as schools and hospitals. If the answer to either of these questions is yes, we're asking you to attend services via live stream. I will tell you that I personally will not be in attendance on Pentecost Sunday. Why? Well, I recently met hundreds of students who were returning the devices that they had used for online learning. I met them outside, our interaction was very brief, and I wore a mask the entire time. But I care enough about you and your health that I don't want to expose you if I happen to contract the virus. When you arrive at church, the arrival process has changed. One of the big changes that we've made is that we'll have one way in and one way out of the building. You'll enter through the two front doors, and when you exit, you'll exit through the double doors leading to the education building. As you enter the building, your temperature will be checked using a non-contact thermometer. As you're waiting in line to enter the building, we ask that you observe social distancing. You can stand together with those that live in your same household, but please stay 6 feet away from other worshipers. You'll also receive items such as bulletins, communion cups, offering envelopes, prayer cards, and other worship materials as you enter. If your temperature reads 99.9 degrees or above, we'll ask that you attend the worship via live stream. There's one controversial topic that I'd like to tackle. Before you enter the building, you'll be expected to put on a face mask. If you don't happen to have one on you, we will provide one to you. If you refuse to wear one, though, we ask that you attend services via live stream. In 1 Corinthians 10 and 24, we are urged to seek the good of our neighbor. Recent research shows that a staggering number of people may be asymptomatic. That means that they have the virus, but that they don't have any of the symptoms. By wearing a mask, you are keeping your fellow worshipers safe should you happen to be one of those people without symptoms. This is a small sacrifice that you can make to keep the other members of your church family safe. Why wear a mask if it's not an N95 mask? Well, what comes out of your mouth when you have the virus is not pure virus. It's droplets. Those droplets have a much harder time making it through a mask. More important, in a church setting, it also reduces the speed of the air coming out of your mouth. Why is that important? Well, that loud singing from your fellow worshiper will likely push far more virus into the air than his loud talking. Now, while we're on the topic of masks, I'd like to take a moment to show you how to properly wear one. The mask should cover both your mouth and your nose. The virus comes out in exhaled air, whether that air comes out of your mouth or out of your nose. Most disposable masks have a wire that you can pinch down over the bridge of your nose to help keep the hot air from your mouth from fogging up your glasses. You may notice that members of the worship team are not wearing masks. This is not an invitation for you to remove your mask. Rather, this is because the masks do muffle sound a bit. A positive outcome for that overly loud singer we were talking about earlier. For the worship team, though, you'll notice that we've either put some sort of shielding in front of them, or we've got them standing noticeably far from the nearest worshiper. In the sanctuary, you'll notice that there are brand new hand sanitizing stations. We are encouraging you to make frequent use of them. Please use them especially before you enter the sanctuary. Now, time for some bad news. We may have blocked off your favorite pew. You see, we have two services, and sterilizing a bunch of cloth pews in the short time between those services is, well, difficult. So we're setting aside half of our pews for the traditional service and half for the Elevate service. Please do not sit in the pews that are roped off. Oh, and don't sit with people that you don't know. Only sit next to your immediate family members, and please leave 6 feet of distance between you and any other people sitting on the pew with you. Because we need to clean up the sanctuary between the services, we're also asking those of you in the first service to get out when the service is over. We have a dedicated team of volunteers who need you out of their way so that they can sanitize frequently touched services before the next service starts. Finally, our church does need your financial contributions to carry on our work. This period has been rough on many people, and the need has increased. However, if you could avail yourselves of one of the online ways of making your offering, that would help to reduce any virus exposure to our staff and volunteers from currency and paper checks. If you can't, though, there will be an offering plate as you enter the building and one as you exit the building. Per our infectious disease response plan, we do not pass the offering plates during the service in order to reduce your risk of exposure. I know that this has been a strange, weird, and stressful time for many of you, and I know that many of you are eager to return to normal. While these precautions may keep things from being exactly the same as they were before, we're doing it with the safety of all of the members of our church family in mind. So, if you feel safe with the preparations I've outlined, and you've satisfied the 2 questions I mentioned, we look forward to welcoming you back on Sunday. I'd say, see you then, but, well, I don't satisfy those questions. Know, though, that I'll be watching and participating with you online. God bless.